as for me, I started working in Russia for a number of years. Let me briefly introduce LG Group. For more efficient management of conglomerate in 2003, LS Group was separated from the LG Group and started its activity in the basic of corporate philosophy. LS Partnership. Nowadays, I represent one of such industrial complex groups, and the organization which I represent was organized in order to support such industrial complex, such industrial clusters as cars, electric elements, and other various industrial products. In the last century, in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, this industrialization strategy focused on industrial parks. And we have now started working within the special economic zones, free economic zones. 50 years after having introduced this concept, we have attained a certain experience. I would like to share my experience with you. Firstly, we are developing a particular region, not simply just physically a particular region. We are creating a cluster, and as my colleague from Singapore pointed out, they have such concepts as preserving the environment and industrialization, and we aim to do the same. Together with the companies which can become leaders in these areas, a lot of small and medium-sized enterprises in the car industry, for instance, are working along these lines. As I say, in accordance with my presentation, such companies as Samsung and LG, we've been approximately 3,000 small and medium-sized enterprises are working together with these companies. We are developing a certain cluster, and initially, primarily, we're not just dealing with the industrial side of this project. It is not the only aspect. We're also looking for such institutions, developmental institutions, which will deal with other topical issues of the industrial complex in order to develop high-tech technology, and that's why certain institutions and labs should be embraced by the system.
And as we create those industrial centers, we seek to resolve the environmental issues which occurred in the past, because we produced without thinking about the environment sometimes. So one of the areas of our development is environmental protection, because we spend a lot of energy and resources, and we produce too much hazardous waste. So our objective was to create a system which would recycle all the hazardous substances that we produce. The idea is to recycle hazardous substances to produce other things and switch to zero production of hazardous substances, which was very important for us. Another point, and there was a similar situation in Singapore, we needed to set up a global system on a government level to support industrial clusters. with the use of airports and free ports. From the side of the Russian government, it was said that the port of Vladivostok became a free port so that it can be a connection point for the global businesses. And lastly, I would like to say that based on our 50-year experience, it's very important to have a connection between the government and regional organizations. Industrial centers are very important, and they need to get support in development, and the government should always seek to support regional leaders, support development, and help create networks and communications. Special departments and agencies are needed to specialize in these particular areas. I hope that the Russian government will take note of the Korean experience, and I would like to finish with this. Thank you.